Good evening. My name is Richard Safier. I'd like to welcome you all to Superintendent's Corner. This program is an opportunity for us to talk about what takes place in the school district and to speak with the people responsible for those things. Each month we prepare two 30-minute shows to give an opportunity for our leaders, our teachers, and our students to talk about programs and various events that take place across the district. The relationship between the schools and the community is very, very important. All relationships require good communication, and if the show contributes to that communication, then it will serve its purpose. For me, we have a very exciting show tonight. We have two of our Gloucester High School students, Sophia Black and Zach Smith. I'd like to welcome you to the show. And they both have been presenters in a program called the Loyal Order of Moose Youth Awareness Initiative. This particular initiative evolved as a satellite program in the early 70s when First Lady Nancy Reagan began the Just Say No to Drugs program. I'm sorry, that was actually launched in 1986. In 1994, recognizing that there are a variety of factors which affect our youth today, there was a revamping of the program, and that's when it officially changed its name to the Moose Youth Awareness Program. The program consists of various state and local moose associations throughout North America. These associations come together at the state level in the fall of each year. The purpose of these congresses is to develop presentations that can be delivered to the targeted group of 6 to 9-year-olds in our elementary schools. And this year's Congress was held on October the 12th at the State House. The student congresses challenge the participating students to become what's known as a speakers bureau. They are the ones that present up to 3 kids talks presentations to elementary schools in their own community. The students themselves and the presentations are not scripted. They are messages about making wise and healthy choices in life, and they're put together by the student themselves. Again, Sophie and Zach, welcome, and thank you very much for coming to the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Great. In terms of preparation, I know that there's something out there called the helper model, which has helped you in your practice sessions. So how has that helped you, Sophie, to prepare for your skit?
Val Gilman was the one that first introduced it to us, and basically what we do is we present what we're going to do for a talk, and then we self-assess, and then each one of the members of the Moose, they tell us what we did well first, and then they tell us one thing we could work on, and we just write it down, and it ends up being really helpful to make our presentation go really well.
Did you find that, Zach, did you find that a comfortable process, that here you are, it's sort of a dress rehearsal in front of adults to see how your skit's going along? Were you comfortable doing that?
Yeah, I was comfortable with it. Everyone was constructive. There was nothing bad about it. Everything went well. And you just get the little things that you need to work on. Right,
right. Some of the nuances and stuff. In general, Zach, how do you feel about public speaking?
I don't really mind it. I don't have that fear. I'll get a little nervous before, but once I get going, I'll be fine, especially with these kids. They're so young that they look upon us as the role models, so it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah, yeah. You comfortable as well?
Yeah, I was a little nervous to start with, but the kids are really just, they're a good audience. They were very respectful and stuff, and they were easy to talk to. That's
good. If you're not a little nervous at first, it's A, you're not human, and B, it sort of gives you, it's just like a sporting event or playing music. It gives you that added edge when you go into doing something and performing. So how many skits or presentations have you done so far?
After today, I've completed 7.
7 of them?
Yeah.
Now, I thought I had read in the literature that you were expected to do about 3 presentations.
Yep, 3 years for the national scholarship, I believe, and then for the local scholarship, everyone in the group is going to do 10 in the end. So.
Oh, wow! And there's how many of you in the group?
There's 6 of us.
Okay, so 6 times 10 is a lot of that's a lot of shows, so to speak. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. And how about yourself, Zach?
I've only done 2, but that's because I haven't gone to do my presentations tomorrow. Which Sophie got to do hers today, because we break it up into the groups.
Yeah, sure enough. And where are you going tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're going to West Parish in Veterans.
Okay. And now do you go to the same schools when you do your presentations? And is it for how many grades? It's all grades, or?
Yeah, it ranges from first to fourth.
Okay, okay. Because I know in the literature it says 6 to 9 years old, and I guess that's the first through the fourth grade. Okay, good. Zach, what topic did you choose for your presentations?
I chose working together.
Okay, and can you, why did you choose that topic?
Well, I chose that because I use it in my everyday life, and I feel like it's an important idea to get into the kids' heads while they're young, because they are going to use it for the rest of their lives.
So working together sounds to me like teamwork, collaboration.
Well, it's not just teamwork, because in teamwork I feel like it focuses more on sports, whereas working together it's not just sports, it's also school or work.
So it's outside just the domain of sports. Has a more universal, if we would, a more universal kind of application. And what topic did you choose, Sophie?
I chose leadership. And I thought that I could relate to it because I'm a captain at the high school, but I wanted to try to connect with the younger kids and trying to convey to them like what type of qualities they would need in future, like as they move on to middle school and high school, what kind of things they would need to think about to be a good leader.
And what were some of the leadership qualities that you spoke about, do you recall?
Well, I did a brainstorming activity, so the kids kind of came up with them after they came up with them themselves, kind of. So they would, a lot of it was respect, patience, confidence. There was encouraging, motivating your teammates and peers, stuff like that.
That kind of, some of that stuff sounds like some of the elements that might go into working together as well.
Yeah.
What sort of things did you emphasize, or did you use a similar format with the students?
Well, I used a similar format. I would ask them where they think they work together. They give me answers. Then on my PowerPoint presentations, I would show what I put, and then I would explain why I put that.
So a chance to hear what they had to say, and then to use it as a comparison for some of the ideas that you had and had already thought about and stuff. Comparison and contrast, by the way, is a very important teaching tool, and whether you're aware of it or not, that's exactly sort of what you were doing. That's really a good sign. These two topics, they're obviously personally important to you. So why is leadership? Why is the thought of leadership important to you, Sophie?
Well, this year was a learning experience for me as far as leadership, because I had to step into the role of being a captain. So I wanted to convey what I learned about how to be a good leader and tell them what I try to go by to become a good leader. And
we call that learning on the job. That's good stuff.
Yep.
And my understanding is that you're already a captain as well, right?
Yeah.
Captain of the football team.
Yep.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And is it fair for me to say that your experience of working together on the athletic field is something that you're looking to carry over in your own personal life to other areas outside of athletics?
Yeah, you could say that it carries over.
And that's why you brought it to the students as well?
Yep.
Great, terrific. Okay, well, maybe we have a couple of video clips, a couple of 4-minute clips that we'd like to show of each of you in action. And Zach, we're going to go with your clip first. So is there a little bit of a lead-in you can give us, and then we'll run to the clip? Well,
basically what I did is I would introduce myself, explain what I'm part of, what teams I'm on, like the honor roll, and then that's when I would ask them about the teamwork, where they think, show them it. Then to get them like more active into it, I'd break them up into their teams, and they'd have to do a crossword puzzle and work together, but it was timed. And after that, I'd explain how working together affects my everyday life. And then after that, do another game. After this game, it was as a class. They'd have to line themselves up, 1 through however many are in the class. For example, one of the classes I did was 18. So 1 through 18 would have to line up. They each had a card, but they couldn't talk. They had to work together, basically, and line up. And after that, I just had them break down what they learned today and why it's important. Wow, that's really good. Well, with that information, I think perhaps now we can go to the video clip.
Before we get started, I just need to give a thanks to my principal, Mr. Anderson, my assistant principal, Ms. O'Donnell, my coordinator, Mr. Riley, and our advisor, Vale. My name is Zach Smith. My topic is working together. As you can see, I play football. I play 3 sports. I play football, I run track, and I do basketball. I've been on football varsity for 3 years, track for 4 years, and basketball for 2 years. Not only do I play sports, I work at Stone's Pub, and I have my group of friends who happen to be my football teammates. Some of the closest friends I'll ever have. Also an honor roll student, part of the Moose group. I have a JJ scholarship, which is where they pay my sports throughout high school, all 4 years. Saves my family and me a lot of money. So I'm going to start. Where do you think you work well with others? Where do you have to work with others?
At your house.
At your house, like your family?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one. Anyone else? Yeah, you?
Around school.
School, that's a good one. You have one? You sure? How about something like work? Do you think I have to work well with people at work?
Yeah.
Yeah? You want to see what I put down for where you work with others? One is sports. Always working with sports. In football, for example, I have to work with the other 10 guys on the field. In school, always working with other people in school. But not just the students, you also have to work with your teachers. And work. Very important at work. So if I don't work well with others at work, it's not going to get done and we're going to get in a lot of trouble. Why do you think it's important for you to work with others? Anyone have any ideas? Why do you think it's important? You want to see what I put? Yeah? I said it's important to work with others because you work together to achieve a common goal. This common goal can be anything between, for football, it was to win a state championship. For work, it's to hand out the best business that you can. In the school, to get the best grade that you can in a group. So now I'm going to tell you how I use working together with others. My first example, football. Football is huge in my life. Earlier this year, I was having a great season. 4 games, I was doing really well. This is the last game I played in the season. I got the game ball. Unfortunately, my season ended after 4 games. But with the help of my teammates working together, my coaches, family, even members of the community, they didn't have to be part of football. They all worked together to keep me up and motivated, still went to practice every day, still helped out every day, was at every game. That's because they all worked together to keep me into it. Me and my teammates worked together to achieve our common goal, and our common goal was the state championship. It was a great time. Working with others made it so much fun, and we achieved it. Made it so much easier. One person can't just do it. It has to be a whole team. Not only do we work as a group, as students, but we have to have communication with the teacher. We work with her. We have to stay after to take a test. We have to stay after to get extra help. We're working with not just the students, but the teachers. So keeping your grades up is the most important thing in high school. Our coaches always say we're a student athlete. Student comes first.
What are your dreams from this point on, your goals?
My dreams, like my future goals?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go to a 4-year college. I've gone accepted to a few colleges already. So I'm going to decide between those colleges. I'm going to graduate from 4-year college. Probably take a year off in between then and work at my family's restaurant, intern with my aunt at her law office, go to law school, and then work with my aunts and cousin in the law office. Yeah, a lot of school. School's very important. So get used to it now, before you get to high school. That way everything's rolling, you're used to it, you go home, do your homework. It's really important.
Well, Zach, thank you. That was quite a presentation.
Thank you.
How do you feel it went? How do you feel that the kids connected with what you had to say?
I felt like it went really well. The kids seemed really active and into it. Once I brought out the puzzle, they got really competitive, and that's when I really got their focus.
Mm-hmm.
And once I started passing around the items, they also really enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they just loved the games. They loved how they got to draw at the end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. A lot of hands-on stuff.
Yeah.
And, all for a really, really good cause. Terrific. Well, Sophie, let's turn to you, and we have a video clip of you in action as well. Can you just give us a little bit of a description of your presentation?
Well, I started out by introducing myself, all the activities I'm involved in at the high school, basketball, softball, cross country, and NHS. And then I started out by asking them what they thought a leader was. And I got their responses, and then I had on my flip chart the actual definition, and I said, look, you already know what it is. And so that kind of got them into it a little bit. And I gave them what I called my 5 keys to leadership. And number 1 was to have a positive attitude. And I kind of explained that. Number 2 was to set goals, and I explained what setting a goal meant, make a game plan. And number 3 was to have confidence, and we talked about that for a couple minutes. And 4 was to lead by example. Basically, you're going to work 100%, your teammates are going to see you, your peers are going to see you, and they're going to want to follow what you're doing. And then number 5 was making good decisions, and we talked about that for a minute. And after that, we went into a little brainstorming activity where they gave me what they thought a good leadership quality was, and then they talked about leaders in their life. And I said, do you have any leaders you can think of, your family, maybe on TV, on sports teams? And they came up with lots of them, like Tom Brady, Paul Pierce, stuff like that, their moms. And I said, why do you think they're good leaders? And they gave me their answers, and we kind of talked about it. And to end it, we did a fun activity called Indian Chief, and it's when there's one leader in the class, and they lead the rest of the class in an action like clapping your hands or snapping, and someone else at the front of the room that doesn't know who the leader is has to try to pick out who it is, so they all have to kind of work together, and everyone has to follow the leader or like clapping or patting your hands, and they have to kind of work together to do that. And then we talked about it, so.
Great, terrific. Well, we've seen a clip on working together. Now let's see a brief clip on leadership.
Hi everyone, my name is Sophia. I'm a senior at Gloucester High School. I'm here today as part of the Moose Youth Awareness Program, and I would like to start off by thanking Mr. Anderson, the principal of Gloucester High School, John Riley, and Val Gilman for allowing me to be here with you guys today. I'm here today to talk to you about leadership, but I'm going to start off with telling you guys a little bit about myself. I'm captain of the varsity girls basketball, softball, and cross country teams. Does anyone here play sports? Yeah. And I'm also a member of National Honor Society at the high school, and I'm a Sawyer Medal recipient. So before we start, I want to know what you guys think a leader is. You?
A leader is someone who is brave and who is honest to all of her friends.
That's awesome. This year, I've learned as being a captain and part of NHS that there's a lot of hard work that goes into being a leader, and there's some things that you should know about what you need to do. So I came up with what I like to call the 5 keys of leadership, and number 1, which is very important, is a positive attitude. Does anyone know what a positive attitude is? You over there? Yeah.
Have to not be grumpy,
Right.
to be nice.
To be nice, friendly, not a poor sport. Did you have an idea? She took it? How about you? Did you still
It's to participate,
participate?
and if you get up and you don't feel good, you can still act good.
Right, that's very important. So basically what I like to think of it as is always try to motivate and encourage your teammates or your peers in school and in athletics or whatever you're doing. So always have a positive attitude. Number 2, setting goals. If you're in a position of leadership, it's very important to set a goal and make a game plan. How are you going to achieve that goal with your peers and your teammates? this year for basketball, my co-captain Keisha Mataro and our goal is to make the state tournament, and we have to try to lead our teammates into achieving that goal. So number 3, very important, confidence. Can anyone tell me what they think confidence is?
Confidence is if you feel like you would do something really good and you went, well, confidence is when you can believe in yourself and believe in others.
Perfect, that's awesome. Did anyone else have any ideas? I like to think of confidence as if you believe in yourself, you make it that much easier for others to believe in you. And when you're a leader, it's very important that people believe in you and what you're trying to do. So if you believe in yourself, you make it that much easier for them to believe in you. So number 4, leading by example. Basically, this means that you give 100% in what you're doing and you always try your hardest. People are going to see that you're trying hard, and they're going to say, "Oh, I think I should be trying a little harder," and make sure they're trying 100%. So number 5, last but not least, very important, making good decisions. Can anyone tell me what they think that means? You right here?
Choosing what's right.
Choosing what's right, that's perfect. Anyone else? So basically, when you're a leader, you want to make a decision that's not only going to benefit yourself, but it's going to benefit the group as a whole. And that's going to happen by making safe and smart decisions. Very important. So just remember, if you always work hard to achieve your goal, that you can one day get to what you want to do. And anyone can be a leader.
Well, Sophie, thank you so much for allowing us to see that clip. How did you feel that your presentation went?
I thought it went really well. I was a little nervous about how the kids would respond at first, but they were really responsive,
Yeah.
and they knew exactly what I was talking about. They gave me answers that I was looking for. It was really nice at the end. When I asked them what they learned, one girl actually said, I learned that anyone can be a leader if you work hard, and I thought that was really good, and I felt good about what I was teaching, that she got that out of my discussion.
I especially like the part about the hard work. Nothing comes easy to work at. It's a good lesson, especially for a young kid to learn, and for somebody your age to provide that information. Zach, any comments that stood out, or general sense from your students as to either questions or comments that they may have had?
Some of them that stood out were, like, one of the kids was like right next to me, and he seemed to be into the whole football thing with working together. He seemed like a kid that plays football.
Right.
So he was one kid that really stood out because he was always asking the questions, and he was just loving the presentation.
Good. This whole endeavor, being a member of the Youth Awareness Program, getting out, speaking to young people and stuff, what does it mean to you? What do you hope to achieve?
Well, basically, I just want to, like, pay it forward and just give back to the community. Because when I was a kid, everyone came in, did stuff like this for us. The older kids were always putting on stuff. So it's just giving back to them.
That's very nice. Sophie, your thoughts on what you were hoping going into this, hoping to accomplish?
I thought it was really fun to connect to the young kids in the community and help build that strong community for the future, strong leaders for the future coming up, whether they're going into middle school, high school, just help build a good character, basically.
Great. Slightly off the topic, but as we round out the show, your plans for next year?
I'm going to go off to college, hopefully. I'm not sure where yet, but I'll be hearing from schools.
Right.
But I'm definitely looking forward to new experiences next year.
Terrific, and best of luck with that.
Thank
How about
you.
yourself, Zach?
I plan on going to a 4-year college next year, hopefully play football. We'll see how that turns out. And then after that, I plan on going to law school.
great. Oh, law school, terrific. Yes. Great, great. Well, your willingness and your capacity to give back to the community and to be an influence to others and to be an influence to young people is extremely laudable, and I feel, I feel privileged to really have an opportunity to have a chance to talk with you on the kind of work that you do. So, on behalf of the kids, on behalf of the school department, thank you very, very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And for Superintendent's Corner, again, Richard Safier, and I'd like to thank you for watching in. Good night.